Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for dropping by. Now, one thing that often bamboozles new people to this hobby, or newbies to the hobby should I say, is one of these things, an equatorial mount or an EQ mount, however you want to call it. And I've got to be honest, they're not the easiest things to get your head round at first, but trust me folks, once you get used to using an EQ mount, they're designed to make life easier basically, and they do. And once you've used one and got to used to how it works, you'll understand just how useful they are. Now, before I get into the video, I just want to point out that this is not a how-to guide. If you want a more in-depth video of how to use one of these things, a quick starter guide, I have done a video on that subject. I will leave a link in the description below. Now, I'm assuming that you already have a basic knowledge of how your equatorial mount works. If not, I advise you to go and watch that video now, then come back to this one. And there'll be a few tips and tricks that you probably won't have seen in that video that I'm going to show you now. The first thing that you want to do when you first set up your telescope, when you first buy a new telescope, is to go round any nuts and bolts that are on the telescope, especially on the tripod. As you can see, these here, we've got these wing nut type things here. Make sure all these are nipped up, because you'll be surprised. I mean, don't expect to every nut and bolt to be tightened up at the factory. Things get skipped quite easily, and just having movement in this part of the mount is a recipe for disaster really. So always make sure anything that can be tightened is tightened up nice and secure. Now, the next step that is important to when you're using any telescope really that's on a tripod is to make sure that it's level. Now, this just simply means laying it before you actually put the mount on top of the tripod. You would lay some kind of leveling device on top. I mean, these days everybody uses apps, and there is plenty of apps out there, spirit level apps that are suited for the job. In fact, I will leave links in the description to any apps that I use for this purpose. But it's really important that you do level any telescope tripod up, and it's always a good idea not to do it in your front room, obviously, is to take it out where you're going to be actually using the telescope, because you can level it on a nice flat living room floor and then your garden's like this or something. So make sure you do it and level your telescope where you're actually going to be using it. Now, another really important step when using an equatorial mount like this with a counterweight is to balance the telescope. If the telescope is not balanced, it's going to constantly fight against you. Now, sometimes this step is skipped in the instructions of telescopes, and it's something that newbies are not aware of. Now, it's a very simple process of doing this really. I'm a little bit cramped for space here, so apologies for how high the telescope is and such, just to get everything in shot. But what I mean by balanced is wherever you place the telescope and let go, it stays there. The tube is not falling back. Obviously, what you need to do is these clutches that you'll have found, your clutches that lock everything off to stop everything moving. Make sure they're undo first before you start balancing it. And it's always a good idea to start with the tube first and maybe lock this one off so it can't move anywhere. Balance this first, and like I say, it's a simple process. You just let go. If it falls forward, then obviously you need to push the tube back this way to put more weight on the back. And then vice versa, opposite. If the tube falls this way, then you need to push the tube this way a little bit to put more weight. Or is that the other way around? But I'm sure you grasp the idea of how you do it. And it same applies to the counterweight. When you put it up like that, if I just slightly alter this and put it too heavy, say, as you can see when I let go of the telescope now, it's moving. So that tells me that the counterweight is too heavy. So just doing little fine adjustments up and down, keep checking it. But it's a very important step this when using your equatorial mount. And as you can see, it just needs a little bit tweaking, but you get the general gist. Again, I've done a full, more in-depth video on how to balance your telescope if you're having any problems with it. Links in the description. Another top tip when you are setting up your telescope is to remember the where the eyepiece position is. Now, mine's probably out of shot here. If I spin it around, you might be able to see it better. Now, if you look at my eyepiece, you can see it. I don't know if I've got this in shot. Let me just bring this up a little bit this way. The eyepiece is same opposite position to the counterweight, if you see what I mean. It's at the top of the telescope. Now, if I spin the telescope round just like that, this is what's called the starting position. When you see telescopes, usually in the shops, they're usually displayed like this, and it's kind of the 10 to 2 position that they do on clocks and watches. And it's very, very, very rare that you ever have your telescope in this orientation. The only time you would ever have it like this is if you was pointing at the North Star. So don't worry about it if it's too. Now, my telescope is a little bit too high at the minute because, like I say, I've got it up for shot. But as you can see with the eyepiece opposite the counterweight, now no matter where I put the telescope, I can still get to the eyepiece, whether it's there, whether it's this side, and the eyepiece is always at a viewing position. Like I say, this is a little bit high for me, so obviously make sure that's another little step. Make sure that your tripod is the correct height as well. When you can do all that when you're leveling up. But it's a great little tip that just have your eyepiece opposite your counterweight, and it will always be in a viewable position. Again, another thing to take into consideration, and this is for all telescope users, not just equatorial mounts, is the positioning, the placement of where you actually set up the telescope. And the worst thing you can do is set the telescope up close to your house. Now, you're going to run into all kinds of issues when you're close to a property or a building. You've got light pollution, always going to have that issue, and B, you've got a lot of thermals, hot air that are radiating in the summertime. All the brickwork's going to have heated up. All that's going to continue to radiate onto your observing area, causing atmospheric, well, it's like turbulence, if you like, in the air when you're using high magnification. So the further away you can get your telescope from your house, the better, really. Another thing to try and avoid, and I know this is difficult, especially for suburban astronomers and backyard astronomers like myself, is not to look over houses. Again, rooftops are terrible for radiating heat, both in the winter and the summer, with chimney pots and things like that. I mean, ideally, over the ocean or over fields is what we're all looking for, but we know that's not all possible. But it's just something to take into consideration, the position of where you set up your telescope. Now, another great tip that I learned years ago, and now this is an old photographer's tip. Now, once you've got everything set up, you've got your telescope leveled and placed where you're going to be observing, is to actually take each leg and you want to just tweak it out, just tease the legs out a little bit. And do this to each one. Go round and just tease the legs out. What this does is it actually makes the tripod grip the ground as opposed to being just sat on top of the ground. And we need all the stability and balance that we can get in a telescope. You've probably already found out the slightest little touch of a telescope and that star or planet's wobbling all over the place. So making sure that your telescope is going to be as grounded, put my teeth back in, as grounded as it possibly can be. Doing this little tip, like I say, photographers have done it for years, and that is just to tweak the legs out so the tripod is actually gripping the ground. It's a great tip. I will get my words out today at some point. It's a great tip, so give that one a go. Now, as you're probably already aware, an equatorial mount needs to be pointed at the North Star as your first setup, as when you're setting it up. Now, a great tip to save a lot of time, instead of having to go out there and keep realigning and set the telescope up and find the North Star, is to actually mark one of the legs. Now, if you look down here, you can see that I've actually got an N representing the north leg. Then what I do is I go outside, or what I have done is go outside, and where I'm on the concrete on where I actually set my telescope up, I've just marked an N and an arrow pointing to the north. So now every time I take the tripod out, I just turn around the north leg and put it on that arrow on the ground. And then it's just a case of when you place your telescope on, remember we talked about the starting position. Well, we're going to the starting position, and the counterweight will always be over the north leg, and that would be the starting position. So you just set your telescope up like that, pointing straight to. It saves so much time having to, get a compass out, which way is north and the rest of it, especially if you're just using the same spot each night for observing. And of course, if you've leveled all your telescope up in that spot, if you leave them settings, even if your telescope might be a bit skew whiff when you if you store it in the house, it doesn't matter. Now all you've got to do is pick your tripod out, take it outside, you know which the north leg is, plonk it down. All that leveling, all that looking for the North Star and the rest of it is eliminated just by plonking it down, and with just a simple letter N or any kind of marking on one of your legs. Now, this is a little tip that's not really mentioned in any guidebooks or instructions, and it's to do with the slow motion controls. Now, if you have these antennae type things on your particular model of telescope, on this one, this is two tips in one actually. On this one, it did have one on this coming out here, on this axis here, and it was just as long as this. And I mean, you've got this big long antenna thing sticking out. The amount of times I bumped into that in the night, so I would advise taking that one off. They're more trouble than they're worth, to be honest, or just shortening it. If you have a look how it's actually assembled, they're quite easy to just cut down and have a little short stumpy one, which I prefer, because these things, when you let go of them and they do this, that actually wobbles the telescope and does actually interfere with your view. It does move the image as well. That's something to be aware of with these long ones. Anyway, on with the little tip of these. Most pictures that you see a telescope is set up with this antenna, which will move the telescope this way, okay? Is right here at the bottom. Now, this is going to be a little awkward to film because of the limited space, but what I found is when you're actually at the eyepiece, if I just spin that, well, we'll just pretend I'm at the eyepiece, and you're in the dark and you're going, reaching round here, is it because you're that busy studying on what you're looking at, can be a bit of a hassle. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever why you can't spin this round and put it here. Now, I'll very quickly show you how you do that. You just simply take your telescope off these two rings, like that. Take the telescope off. Now, it's probably advisable as well just to lock your clutches down. You don't want things flying around and hitting you in the face. Okay, so we're going to take the telescope off and we're just going to spin it round, and we're just going to place it back down. And you can see now, I'll just lock that one off and that one off, that now the telescope is exactly the same. We'll just lock them, release them, as it was before. But now we've got that antenna, our little slow motion control right at the front here. So now you can see how easy it is now we're at the eyepiece. It's just a case, it's right there, it's opposite your focuser. You always know where it is, and it's there at hand. A little tip, like I say, something that you never see written down, but I've always had my telescope set up this way. Give it a go. Now, one last tip or word on using your equatorial mount is not to worry too much about precision and polar aligning. Now, don't get me wrong, it is important to set your telescope to make sure that your latitude is correct. Quick Google search will find out exactly what your latitude is, and there is a dial on the side. Like I say, all this is in the video I've already done how to set this up. Once you've make sure that this is something like your latitude. And with your north leg, little trick I've already told you, you can just plonk that down with facing north and use the telescope straight away. Just get on with it. Don't worry, oh, it might not be precisely polar aligned. It's not a problem for just general observing, like visual astronomy. The only time you have to worry about precise polar aligning is if you're going to do any kind of astrophotography, or should I say any kind of serious astrophotography. Then it really is important to get it pretty much precisely polar aligned. But like I say, for general just astronomy, for a little stargazing for a couple of hours of an evening, all these little tips I've told you about the north leg, you can just go out, plonk your telescope down. This is all set up, everything's pretty much set up and ready for you to go there. So there you go, folks, a few hints and tips just to make life a little bit more easier using an equatorial mount, because after all, that's what they are designed for. They're designed to make it easier and a more comfortable viewing experience, and they really do work, and they do achieve that once you get your head around them. Don't forget to have a look at that other video if you're a total novice. If you're a total novice to an equatorial mount, have a look in the link in the description for a quick starter guide to get you going with one of these type of mounts. Well, that's it for another video, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, especially if you've watched this far. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. That's the one that counts. That's the one that really helps small channels like mine out. In the meantime, folks, take good care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.